What you got, Tim?
Greasing.
Oh, Tim's greasing. Okay, so Tim's getting ready to go Ted hay. We had an inch of rain yesterday on about 150 acres of ground, and of course, before we go to Ted hay, we grease it. And we also are supposed to clean it off because, well, hay wrapping around wheels like it is right there could be a potential issue. But there it is, and you can see how easy that cleans off. He should be doing it out in the field, but whatever, such is life. He can clean that up later. So anyways, a little bit about this tedder. Last year when I was out to Messick's for my Krone baler, when they did the overview and reinstall of different items that were worn in a peculiar way and other things like that, I went out to the York Farm Show, and I met with Ryan from Pequea, Ryan Skibo, the owner of the Pequea company, and they were so kind to let me borrow these fine pieces of equipment. 3 pieces of equipment, to be honest with you. This turbo tedder, TT6101, that I like very, very much. It has not left me down, and believe me, I have run hundreds and hundreds of acres through this thing without any problems. It obviously looks like it has done some work, and it wasn't cleaned off properly when they came out of the field last, but it's just on the arms, and this is nothing. This is nothing, you know, it's no big deal. You just grab a hold of it and cleans right up. Should have been cleaned off before I started this video, but you know what? Sometimes we just kind of do things in a raw perspective, and this is a raw perspective. So he's greasing it, and he's going to clean that all off of there before we go ahead and go to using it. But I'd like to say that there are so many wonderful things about this tedder that I don't even know where to start. It works great. It does a good job of spreading it out. It folds up and unfolds quite easily. I have a string wrapped here on this gearbox, Tim. This is gonna have to get cut off of there. That's amazing. Hey, this is when you go over your machine before you go to the field, and you find all those little things that you should clean off of there. But anyhow, yeah, I love the thing. I've used it. It's easy enough that Teresa uses it without any problems. Anybody that I put on it, with the exception of someone cutting the wheel too hard, and that took an amazing feat of effort to cut the wheel so hard that they did that horse shit. But I don't know, nobody's fessed up to it yet, and but that's okay because it didn't do any damage. But other than that, this is a great machine. Today, Timothy will probably get over 150 acres with it because that's just what his job is, and tomorrow we're going to go to raking, and we'll get that all raked up, and hopefully it's dry enough to bale. But if you're looking for a tedder and you want a good quality tedder, Pequea is the company to go check out. I'll show you a couple of the features of it. As you can see, it has 6 baskets and 6 tires on there, but oh look, most of the tedders that you see, the wheels are behind it. And when you unfold it, they pick up somehow. I'm not even 100% sure how they work because I've never been interested in one. I am not a fan of the tedder. I think for my business, it isn't what I want to be hooking up to. I do mulch hay, and every penny counts. And every time you're going across the field is costing you pennies. So we don't want to do that. But the thing that I really enjoy about this tedder is, with the Kuhn tedder, I was always bending the axles on the baskets. Now, mind you, that was a 3-point tedder, and you know, so all the weight was on those axles. But that was an 8-star, and that 8-star tedder, you'd think those 8 axles would be able to handle the weight of that 8-star tedder. Well, it couldn't. But Pequea has come up with this really cool idea to have enough weight on the ground to keep it on the ground, but they have this spring system here that puts pressure on these wheels, which actually lifts the whole entire tedder off, you know, keeps a lot of the weight of the tedder off the ground. And I like that. They swivel, and then when you raise them up, there's a nice little, as you can tell, we greased the ever-loving shit out of this thing. But when they raise them up, it drops down into this little groove, centering it, and then there's a locking mechanism there which locks the wheels straight for road transportation. And that just works. I think it works great. What do you think, Tim? You haven't really used this thing much, have you?
No.
He hasn't. I've had Teresa in it probably more than anybody. Yeah, I don't think anybody else has really run it, myself and Teresa. I think Dad ran it a little while, and he didn't mind it. And Tedders and my father don't get along at all. He just doesn't like them. He's never liked them. As a matter of fact, when I was a kid, we had a 4-star coon tedder that I think has spent more years sitting than it ever did in the field because he hated it so bad. And I never liked it either because it was just too small for what we were doing. But this Pequea Tedder, 7 arms on each basket. They are directional arms, and like coon does, they have different colors for the different directions of the arms so that you don't screw them up. And even if you do screw them up, it'll still chuck the hay. It's just going to dig into the ground more on one end than the other. The grease points are very easy to access. I can't believe it, this thing. I told them to clean that off of there. But I forget who used this last. You remember who used it last? Was it you? Nope. Of course not. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Yeah, he's going to clean it off when he's done. I'm going to make him go up in the field and clean it all off before he goes to work with it. Right, Tim? Yeah, Tim's been sick the last 3 days. And, you know, so he's just getting over some form of an illness. And hopefully he recovers fully, right? We don't want to go to a funeral, do we? You were threatening to go to the hospital, weren't you? Yeah. I think he ate something wrong, like offspring of the latest Sasquatch. You couldn't eat? Well, that's a good thing. I think you've eaten enough for the second day. Tim likes to eat more than he should. But anyway, yeah, if you're interested in buying a tedder, you know, you can call Messick's Equipment, because Messick's was the ones that delivered it for me. And it's great. I'm loving it, and hopefully it lasts for many, many years. I will be probably purchasing this at the end of the season. They told me that I can use it for free all summer long, and then at the end of the season, or when I'm finished with it, they would offer it to me at a reduced price because of the advertising that I'm giving them. Now, believe me, I talked to Ryan about this machine, or any of these machines, and I told him that I am not on anyone's payroll. If you give me a piece of equipment, you're going to get the good, the bad, and the ugly. I did give them the option, or the opportunity, if there is a problem, that they come out and fix the problem. Now, this machine, no problems at all. And this is where you can contact Messick's at. You can either go to their website, or you can use that phone number, and I'm sure they will hook you up with something similar, bigger. They do make bigger ones. I think they make an 8 and even a 10-star tedder. So, yeah, I recommend this one. I really do. I think it's tits, to be honest with you. And but anyway, I will say this. I made Ryan a deal that I wouldn't badmouth a piece of equipment until it was fully gone over by their shop, and I stand by that. This and the spreader, perfect. The rake, having a little bit of trouble with. And it's not their trouble, it's my trouble. The machine functions perfectly. It's just the amount of hay that I am putting through it is a little bit too much for that design. So I got to call them up and maybe come up with some brainstorming ideas as to how to get this thing to work better. I have a fix for it. I just need to make sure that they're okay with the fix that I do. But anyway, good company to work with. Good dealer support. Don't let any of the other farming channels tell you that they don't have good dealer support. They have excellent dealer support. I mean 100%. You call them up, they are on top of it. Now, some people you just can't please, and we know who they are, and it's really difficult to deal with somebody that is difficult to deal with. When I had the No Rower 240 or the Speed Rower 240, I had problems, and I was upset. And I made phone calls, and I made videos, and I was, you know, but when Messick's came through and said, listen, please stop making videos until we're done, until we get this thing resolved. And let me tell you something, I said, okay, I'll do it. I won't make any more videos as long as you get this thing straightened out. Now, it wasn't because I made the videos, it's just, there's a natural order to things, and Messick's really needs a little bit more time than a pissed off farmer is willing to give them. And afterwards, I was more than pleased with what Messick's did for me, and I'm sure Messick's would do for any other farmer, YouTube channel or not. And, you know, they make things happen for you when other dealers just say, up yours, we're not dealing with you because you're an idiot. And believe me, I've had dealers do that. I did mention one of these dealers. I will not do business with them ever again. And no, it's not the John Deere dealer. I have a good relationship with those guys. But anyways, enough of me yammering on about the Pequea TT6101 Tedder. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'll look forward to seeing it in the field sometime soon enough.